Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, you all can hear. So, all ready to start our chapter 2?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, let's start with Mangalacharana.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimurandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadatikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gope Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarutyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Radhika Mataji muted.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So all set for chapter 2. So today we will see chapter 2. Today is the most important chapter because this actually is the entire Bhagavad Gita. You know, everything in Bhagavad Gita is actually here. Now you'll be wondering why chapter 3, 4 and 18 chapters are there all over. But let's first understand what 2 is, and then we will see, you know, why all other chapters are in place, right? So let's, what is this called, right? So basically that is why it is called summary of Gita. Why is it called summary? Because the entire Bhagavad Gita is actually here. So if you attend today, you will get a complete, trailer of Bhagavad Gita. So this is called Gita Saramsha, right? So now let's see what is in it. Before that, let's have a very quick recap on what happened yesterday. So yesterday, chapter 1 was observing the armies on the battlefield. So it started off with Dhritarashtra inquiring about the battlefield to Sanjaya. Then it exhibited Duryodhana's fear, the power of the conch shells, blowing of conch shells from both sides, but specifically our Krishna's side, the Pandava side conch shells created so much fear, right? And observation of Arjuna, right? So he's telling, please go ahead and, I want to see what is happening. And finally, what happens is Arjuna reasons not to fight. Why we should not fight? So why is all this coming? Is Arjuna scared? So let's again do a quick reason why Arjuna is worried and why he doesn't want to fight, right? So it starts off with compassion. He's very compassionate, and it is a very good quality, right? Being compassionate towards others. We usually use the word empathy, right? So he becomes very compassionate, and then he also thinks that there will be no enjoyment, right? Irrespective of whatever world he conquests. Now sin. Now he's worried that sin will overcome him, right? It will be upon him on killing people, right? Because killing people is sinful. Now family tradition. Oh my God, if elders are no more, then what will happen to my family tradition? These are the 4 lamentations Arjuna had in chapter 1. All this made him indecisive. Indecisive means unable to make any decision. This one comes in 2.6. This is coming in the second chapter. So we will see that as well. So what happens is at the level of till at that stage it becomes very indecisive, so he's confused. So what happens is in shloka 2.2, Krishna is actually scolding him. He's telling Kashmalam, he's like really scolding him. You're so how can you let all these impurities come upon you? Can you you're such a powerful person, and how can all this come upon you? So he is actually literally abusing, he is using all bad words. He calls him even impotent. So powerful relationship they have. So Arjuna is completely indecisive in 2.6, as I told. And in 2.7, we are going to start where the first stage, where so far the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna are friends, right? There is a paradigm shift here where Arjuna surrenders. That is why there is a picture here where Arjuna is falling on the feet, and the relationship switches completely from a friend relationship or cousin relationship to a complete surrendering shishya relationship. Now Krishna becomes what? He becomes now a spiritual master. So he stops scolding. You see the beautiful line of events which happened in chapter 1. Entire chapter 1, Krishna just spoke once. After that, he didn't speak at all, right? He was just silent all through. And only one time which he spoke also, like before Arjuna's mind started working. We were talking yesterday, right? So he says, behold the Arjuna. He's just telling, don't allow your mind to run. That is the only thing which he spoke. Now in chapter 2, he starts scolding Arjuna because he assumes a relationship as a friend, right? Even you all will do, right? If a friend comes to an exam hall and immediately tells, I don't want to write the exam, what will be your reaction? Hey, come on, don't be silly, don't do this, come on, you must write, right? And you try everything, you will finally give one piece of your mind, right? So same way he does. But the moment Arjuna surrendered, he takes the role of Krishna. Look at the speciality. In entire chapter 1, he hardly spoke, right? Which shows that he is a great listener. So we are all talking about leading by an example. So Krishna is leading by an example, that he never spoke. All the cribbing when Arjuna did, completely, all his lamentation, he was just silently listening. Then now, after surrendering also, he stops scolding and he is actually, doing this. So what is happening in 2.7? What does he say, right? Let's start. Hare Krishna. Karpanya dosho prahata svabhava prichami tvam dharma sammuda chetah yakshreyasan nichitam bruhi tanme shishyasте aham shadimam tvam prapannam. Hare Krishna.
Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Very clear, right? Look at his bow. Can you see Arjuna? He doesn't say, hey Krishna, I don't know what to do, tell me. No, right? He's like really humble, because he is now telling, as friends, they were doing everything possible. Now, as a person who's seeking advice, he goes to the sthanam, which is much lower, and tells him, now you tell me, I surrender to you. I am your disciple, right? So this very clearly sets an example how a disciple, when you're asking a question, right? Most often, this is a confusion I used to have. When you ask teacher a doubt, what tone we should use? Should we be at the same pace? Should we request? Should we dominate? This was always my confusion. I'm sure many of you also could be confused. So now here clearly he says this, that he surrenders, and so beautifully he is explaining this. So this is what is the beauty, and Arjuna is also leading by an example of how a disciple should be. So let's move to the next one. So they are just showing how the relationship of both exists. Hare Krishna. I believe what I see works when your vision is impeccably perfect. So who's Krishna? So this is something which we will learn more. What is the concept of seeing is believing? So when your vision is perfect, then whatever you see is fine. So when you see a long distance view, there's nothing, right? So there's only that orange light. So now you see closer, this looks like, I don't know whether it looks like a horizon, a sea, or a sky. So you see closer, then you can identify what this is. And now you see, oh my God, there is a tree out there, right? Can you see the tree? Now chat is open, so we all have to chat. Yeah, okay, you can see. Now let's see closer. Right? So you know what it is. A closer vision of that. Oh my God, can you see something else? What do you see there? Perfect. All of you have excellent vision, right? Parrot, right? So you see a parrot. So as you go closer, what happens is you see every single thing. So what happens is many times you say that seeing is believing, right? That's a standard belief we say. What I see only I believe. Right? So seeing may not be true all the time because sometimes what you see could be very different because our senses are not perfect. Right? So this is the situation, right? And we all know that our eyesight, if I go to a room, our own house and switch off the tube light, right? Yesterday, I think power went off in one of my rooms and I was grappling as to where, things are. I'm sure it's likewise for all of us, right? So that is the challenge for us. We are dependent on either sun or an alternate light for our vision. And in spite of that, it's imperfect, right? So we'll now move on to the first answer. Remember, what was the first issue? What was the first lamentation Krishna had to resolve for Arjuna? Can you all type in the chat? What was the first challenge which Arjuna had of the 5? What was the first thing? Perfect. Yes, compassion. Hare Krishna. Yes. Thanks, Sanjeev. Thanks, Neetu. So basically, compassion. Yes, and Shriya, Divya. Thank you so much. Compassion, right? So all attentive, so happy. So what is happening? Compassion, right? So he has to address all the questions, right? So now he is a perfect teacher. See, he has so many questions. Every question he is addressing answer by answer, right? So let's start with Dehino asmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na bhuyati. Hare Krishna.
As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change.
So what does he say? He says that, so typically what happens is the soul, right? Soul is what is inside. So this time, today is going to be heavy. We're going to read about soul. So we have various stages in life. Are you having the same body? Can you see the picture when you're born, right? We may talk about the cells growing and all that, but actually what happens, right? Even medically, once in 7 years, there are new cells which are formed. So whatever is happening, the body actually completely transforms, right? It changes. We keep telling it's my body, but is this body the same which we are having a decade before or 2 decades before? Or will it be same? We saw yesterday, right? After 2 decades, the person is entirely different. So this is what all the stories. So there's a completely different change which is happening, not after life or death, but it is during our life itself. You see so many bodily changes which are happening, right? So now this, so what is he saying, right? So this is a continuation of his lamentation of compassion. So 2.23. Nainam chintanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyapo, na sosyati marutaha. Hare Krishna.
The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can he be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind.
So he is talking about the qualities of the soul. See, we've had so many cases where bomb blasts, all this has happened, right? So in any situation, you cannot burn the soul. There's no way it can be burnt. Nor, if someone dies in the sea, you can't say that the sea can only kill the body. It can't kill the soul. It doesn't get wet, right? Nor can it be carried away by the wind. So basically, what are they telling? We are talking about the various qualities of the soul. So Krishna is trying to explain Arjuna about the various qualities of the soul which are present in everyone. So what is he in one line trying to tell? He is saying that whatever is there in the soul, the body is, yesterday we saw, right, is made of set of chemical. So there are 2 ways of perception of the body. Either you believe that this body is only one lifetime, okay, and that body is going to die. If you have that feeling that the body does not exist, it is only one life, and you don't believe in any other life carrying karma or anything, then you don't have to worry because it's only one life, right? Why you're bothered about anything? If you're thinking that this particular body is going to stay with you, again and again, even then during one lifetime itself, your body has changed. Have you ever cried, oh my God, 20 years back I was so cute? We tell as an expression because we don't want to change, but we don't start crying, right? When the child moves from a childhood to a adult or whatever, in the house, do you tell, oh my God, my body is gone? Do we cry every 7 years for the cells dying? No. So he's saying the same. He says the soul always exists. So why are you lamenting and crying? Because your body, even though you lose, you will get another new body, right? You're going to get you in the sense, whatever, whoever you are worried that will die is going to get a new body. So it's a change of body. And in the first case, if you think it's a set of chemicals, you don't cry for chemicals, right? So if you lose a little bit of, whatever, a Dettol or a floor cleaner, will you cry? Oh my God, I poured off this chemical. You don't cry, you don't yawn over it, right? So that is what he is saying. So this is his first point, telling that compassion. Arjuna, I understand you're compassionate, but why are you worried about? Because all those like Bhishma and Dronacharya, if they die, right, because we already studied this is Dharmakshetra, they are going to get a very new body. And, it will be much healthier and younger. So why are you lamenting? This is what he is talking in terms of compassion. And this is applicable to all, right? So not just them. So now 2.31 to 2.37, what is the second lamentation Arjuna had? So you all can, the chat is open. So what is the first one is compassion. So he's addressed compassion. No enjoyment.
Second is sin. No enjoyment. Sin.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. So attentive. I'm just enjoying the class. Your teachers must be very lucky to have you guys as students. So let's start. Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahi tasmad utishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nashchaya. Hare Krishna.
O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination.
So 2.31 to 2.37, Arjuna is telling, what is in it for me? Do we all feel this, right? We need to get something, only then we will do something. Don't we all feel some part of our lives we keep telling, what is in it for me? What I get out of this, right? So same way Arjuna is feeling, right? Boss, I will not have any enjoyment if somebody is dead, because if I do not have people to relish my success, what's the point, right? This is what he is talking about. So now, Krishna is giving bumper offer. Now the first offer he is telling is, if you die, you will go to heaven. Now the second one is, if you win, obviously there is only one scope, right? You will be ruling the earth. So now now I'm going to ask you a question. Chats are open. How will you go to heaven? What is the guarantee Krishna is giving? On what basis is he giving that you will go to heaven? Now the chat is open. Yeah, no enjoyment. That's so nice. Sudhir, Anushri, all of them so attentive. So now tell me, what is the guarantee? Okay, winning though, if he's alive means it means that he is won. Otherwise, Duryodhana will kill him. So that is clear. But if he is dead, what is his karma? Okay, very nice. So that is one concept, karma. Besides that, very advanced thinking, Sanjeev. So at a very basic level, what is the story? Yesterday I was telling. So it is also called Dharmakshetra. So there are two stories to Dharmakshetra, which is a Kurukshetra. Exactly. Thank you so much. So anyone who is in, yes, thank you, Tanya. So anyone who will die in Kurukshetra will go to heaven. That's a default. And also anyone who dies in a battle, because he is doing his duty, right? Kurukshetra, yes, it's also called Dharmakshetra, Shrikant. Thank you. Yes, Pooja, thank you so much. So all of them who die here will go to heaven, and all of them who die fighting, in the sense in an army, also heaven is guaranteed. So these are guarantee which Krishna had already laid even prior in the Vedas. So he is telling, boss, there is absolutely no way you will fall back. You are anyway going to heaven. So both ways, you're super success. So where you're talking about no enjoyment, you're talking about enjoyment and super enjoyment, because more than earth, heavenly planets have absolute enjoyment, right? Now, when I'm glorifying heaven, don't immediately think we should go to heaven. We will see where we should go. Okay, there is something beyond heaven. So let's try and see what that is all about. So answer 2.31 to 37, this still continues. Avacha vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantas samartyam tato dukkataram nukim. Hare Krishna.
Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you?
So what will happen? You know very clearly enemies are waiting for a chance to mock us, right? I mean, who has more experience than us, right? So anywhere we fall down, everybody around will wait for us, right? Same thing he's telling, boss, the enemies will speak to you so rudely. They are not going to understand that you're compassionate. They will only be thinking that you're not capable, right? What do you mean by score your ability? They will try and look down on you. Jay, you're scared, you ran away, all this. Now, why are we telling what is it more painful? We always one side we are telling we should become insensitive, wash your hand and go off, right? Why is he telling? Is because at the end of the chapter, when time permits, I will tell you about the story of Dhruva Maharaj, right? So what is the story overall here is Arjuna is a Kshatriya, right? So you should understand the positioning of each. Now for a Kshatriya, you know, he won't mind even dying, but he won't be able to take a bad name, right? That you will notice, right? Even among us, some of us take insults so calmly. Some of them will also tell, hey, this person is a buffalo, yeah, nothing is happening. But for some, you know, we feel that little, you know, the blood boils inside, right? So that is all because of our inherited qualities. Here, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, so his blood will boil. He wouldn't mind someone killing him by a sword rather than insulting him by the words, right? So that is what matters. So that is what he is telling, boss, that it's going to be horrible for you. Nobody is going to tell you you're compassionate. You're going to think, oh my God, you know, this is the feeling which you're going to have. So, Hare Krishna. Neham Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam apyasya dharmasya Trayate mahato bayat. 2.4, Hare Krishna. So, what is he telling, right? He's talking about, first I want to tell the story of this little cute mouse with a cherry. So what does this mean? Swalpa means little bit. So what he is telling, Krishna is telling that little bit some service anybody does, so he's waiting for an opportunity. Right? He is so desperate, right? So he is just talking about what is in his mind. So what are this? You know, these are actually addressing the question 3. So before I explain this, now you have to tell me what is this third question? We saw enjoyment, right? We also saw, and this is addressed from 2.38 to 2.53 is giving answers in detail. So what is this third issue?
Sin. Sin.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Wow, all of you. Right? Oh, huge. Manika Singh, Sanjeev, Anushri, Shrikant, Tanya. Oh my God, you all are so attentive. Even if I was half attentive as you all in school, I would have got more marks, I think. But anyway, thanks. Thank you so much. Sin. So now he's telling, my God, you know, sin, I'm going to kill a person. So it's going to be sinful. Yes or no? Is it sinful to kill a person? Can I go to the road and that fellow is so bad? Can I just take a sword and kill him? I mean, many times, at least once we felt we should kill this person. No, no. So what Arjuna is doing is a very sinful activity, right? What Arjuna is doing, is it sinful activity? Arjuna's activity sinful? Yes, no? Depends on the situation, okay? Suman, we are going to debate this at the end. So what Arjuna did, is it sinful? Yes, no? No, okay? No, acha, okay, you're all favoring Arjuna so much, okay. So what is Krishna telling? Okay, so now I'm going to go to the small story of this little mouse, okay. So this mouse is thinking it's a strawberry, and there's a small lamp, right? This diya is right before the deity of Krishna. Now, what is happening is, you know, the mouse gets confused that this particular light is nothing but strawberry, right? So it is so tempted, you know how animals are. It just can't resist, and it's just running and jumping into the fire, and it dies. Okay. So immediately, you know what is happening. Why did the mouse go? It thinks of its food. But Krishna is writing accounts, right? Krishna is writing accounts. Oh my God, such a lovely mouse. It came to rescue my lamp, which was burnt, which is supposed to get switched off because of the wind. What a sacrifice. Okay, now, you know, Yamaraj and Chitragupta are coming and telling, Krishna, Krishna, this is not the truth. Why don't you open your eyes and see the truth? Mouse is actually trying to, you know, eat, thinking it's a strawberry. He's telling, no, 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 I know. So what does he know? Is Krishna dumb? Is he dumb? Is he, does he not have brain? Or is, Yama or Chitragupta more smarter? No, correct. So then why is this happening? No, yeah. So this is like, we all will experience, when we are little, and we also still experience sometimes when you have a little brother or a cousin who's very tiny, they will eat something and give us one small bit. 99% of the time they'll give it to us because they don't like it. Same thing we would have done when we were little, like typically 1 year, 2 years. But our parents, or even in our case, when we see someone little giving us milk, oh, this person likes it so much, huh? They gave this for me. Some part of our mind clearly knows that this was not given to us because we like it, it's because they don't like it, right? But still, how do we flatter ourselves? We tell that, oh, have you all had this experience? I have had this experience so many times. Even if you personally didn't have experience, you'll see your mama and all, right? You had it, right? Okay. So, Chacha Parao, Krishnakant, all of them, yeah, Super Puja, yeah. So, same thing. So Krishna is not an idiot. It's like, when we play a game also, every time we lose to a small child because we enjoy making them win, right? So same way, Krishna is waiting for an opportunity. Where will something we'll do, even accidentally, let me give you the credits and okay. So that is the point and heart of the Krishna. We keep blaming him. Oh my God, Krishna is so bad. He did this to me. So bad. Paper is so tough, everything. But he is waiting for the chance. Swalpam apyasya means swalpam. Anybody who knows Kannada will understand. Swalpa means very little in Kannada also. So he's saying that little bit of anything done also is always kept, like a bank account. It does not die. And he creates this. This is what he is trying to highlight it here in this particular shloka. Now you see anything, including anger, which Hanuman did and burned Sri Lanka, we may have mixed views, and we'll take it in Q&A today. Hanuman burning Sri Lanka, good or bad? Now you're going to message me, good or bad? Hanuman burning Sri Lanka, right? And that anything which is done in the act of for Krishna is considered good because Rama was not upset or angry. He was happy, right? So good, right? So we are such lovely people in this batch. Previously, they used to tell bad, and I will tell you why they felt bad and what was the reason. But of course, there is no judgment. It's our own view. Good and why I will tell you at the end of this session. So that is what he thinks. Anything done, even anger exhibited is there. So now moving on to the fourth answer, where he answers between 2.45 to 4.6. For the answer, we need the question. Every time, I need the question. What is a question? What is
Indecision.
Family traditions? Lovely. Thank you so much. So family tradition. So what is he telling? Family tradition will go away. You need elders to do all this, right? So if you don't have, then all the family tradition will go away. So this is what he is talking about clearly. And, he is also, before this, he's also talking about for the sin, he says, just like how you understood, for the sin, it's like the judge, right? In a judge who gives a judgment, and we're going to talk about it in length in our bridge today, is not going to be wrong if he is going to give hanging or even a long-term punishment to someone. Same way, Krishna tells Arjuna, as a Kshatriya, fighting is his duty. So there will be no sin that will incur him when he is doing his duty. So that way he convinces him. Now, on the fourth, he's talking about family tradition. So he is worried that the family tradition will go away. And Krishna is telling that the family name will go away only if he doesn't fight, right? Because people will start looking down on him, telling that what kind of a guy you are. And that is so horrible, right? It's so horrible and pathetic that nobody can sustain that kind of a name. Your family name itself will, infamy means loss of family name. The whole name of the family will go to dogs because, we'll have experience, right? Why are we all very well behaved? One reason is we want to be well behaved. Another reason is we want to project to be well behaved, right? Because we don't want others to think bad of our name, our family name and all, right? Yes or no? Right? Sometimes we don't want to do it, but still we are in best of behavior. Sometimes, when all these elders and relatives come, it's so boring, you just feel like running away there. I have felt that so many times. Any of you all have felt that, or am I the only one, or are you with me? Yes, thank you so much, Shrikant. But we don't have a choice, and especially my dad will tell, my friends are all coming, they are all senior doctors, be well dressed. I will be so bored, we have to give away our shorts and wear one very nice dress in this hot summer. I'm from Chennai, so how hot it is, and get ready and give an artificial smile. Yes, that is the most boring thing. But still, you do it only because of the fact that, you just want to keep up the standard of our family tradition, right? So that is a situation. See, I'm so happy that a lot of y'all are like me. I'm so glad that I'm not alone here. Thanks, Pooja. Thanks, Pradeep. So that's where, we are worried. So what happens now? So that time, we can be our own, right? So we can also come and if we want to go for swimming, just go in a swimming, shorts and a t-shirt and tell, hey, I'm going for swimming. Okay, see you, bye. We would love to do that. But just to protect our family tradition, we try and not do all this and try to be well behaved, even though we just don't like it. Right? Same way, what he's telling is, even if you don't like it, boss, fight, because you let down your family. They will all think, what kind of a guy are you? Are you Pandu's son? Are you Kunti's son? Because they are all great warriors, right? And also, adharma is happening. You cannot be sleeping. So that is what he's saying. Now, answer 5. Now, the question for answer 5. Give me a heads up. Question for answer 5. Indecision. Wow, that's super. So indecisive. So this is the most favorite because I always felt indecision is the best solution. Whenever I'm confused, I will not decide. So that way, I would always love to be, this is my all-time favorite, but don't follow. It's a bad example. But I was just thinking, so he also decided, like Arjuna decided, I will not take a decision. But the best decision he made is he surrendered. So what is happening? Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bahu shakaya nantascha buddhayo avivasayinam. So vivasayatmika buddhi means, our intelligence resolute in Krishna conscious. So basically he's telling that you should think of Krishna in your activity and not think that you are the doer. For example, who this small little cute boy with the bow is? Who's this small cute boy with the bow? Not bad. What is the name of the bow? Arjuna. Thank you. What is the name of the bow? I was thinking somebody will at least make one mistake. I thought you would tell Abhimanyu, but it's correct. So what is the name of the bow? Gandiva. Oh, wow.
Gandiva.
Gandiva bow. Yes. And who is this person who's sitting down and watching him? Drona. Wow. Drona is his name. Acharya means teacher. Dronacharya is his name. Thank you, Rajat Sanjeev. Oh, yeah, brilliant. So we are having this boy learning at that age, right? And there was one motive he took. There was one very beautiful story and I can't stop sharing. Bhima, all of you all know Bhima is a foodie, right? A foodie means you all will call yourself foodie. It is not that foodie. He's a very big foodie. So usually mama will keep food for the child and then only eat, no? But Kunti used to do differently. She used to feed all the children and then she used to eat and then only give to Bhima. You know why? Not because she's a bad mom. It's because if she gives him first food, nobody will have it. So what happens is, one day, as usual, this is the straight agenda. He would always be in charge of any catering or cooking because he loves it, right? So now what happened is, one day there is a, those days, if there is a breeze or wind, power failure will happen. Candles will go off and it takes few minutes. There was no instant generator then, not the way we have. So power went and they managed to light it back in a matter of a few seconds or probably less than a minute. And that was at the time of serving food. And what happened is the entire food, all the bowls, everything was empty in that fraction of a minute. Okay, and Arjuna just could not even understand. He runs to his, teacher and asks the teacher, I am very confused. How is it at that age? How is it this is happening? How Bhima could eat off everything so fast? Is it possible? Even we are all foodies, we can be faster than someone, but we won't be able to gulp the whole thing, right? And even if we gulp, we will be able to do what? Maximum one number is there. Beyond that, we will burp, right? So Arjuna is asking how, what is it, in Bhima, which he is able to succeed in that time. Look at Arjuna, right? Even there, he sees the plus point. If it was we, will tell, this fellow ate off my food also. How bad he is, that would be our thought. But look at this Arjuna's thought flow, right? Everywhere he tries to learn. So Drona says, it's a focus, right? Buddhi. If you have a single focus, right? One single focus, if you have, you will always be very successful. So he's telling that one single focus which he has is on clearly the food. So with all his energy focus, they tell us also, even we have this experience. throughout the year, we won't be finishing even one lesson. Right? Just before the exam, oh my God, all 10 lessons will go inside the head. Whether we remember or not, we will finish all 100 pages in 2 hours is inside the head. Yes or no? My case used to be like that. The whole year, one line, yes, okay. One line also won't go. Fully, and especially management time, the first heading also won't go inside. I'll be blinking. And, exam. That is because of the fact that just before exam, we are giving our 100%. Right? Same way, Arjuna is giving his 100%, and that's the thing Dronacharya is telling. If you breathe so hard and you want something so desperately, you will achieve. That is the lesson he is saying, and that is what he takes it. So that is what he says, and that is answering his 5th question, which is indecision. So he's telling that don't give up. You have to decide because you're doing everything for Krishna, and it's not your own thing. You are an instrument, right? So that is what he is actually trying to explain here. Now in 2.55, let's see what he is saying. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prajahati Yada Kama Sarvan Parthamanugatan Atmanevatmana Tushtaha Sita Prajas Tadochyate. Hare Krishna.
Blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure consciousness.
Now, after answering all the 5 questions, now the whole thing came where, it starts with Arjuna on a very serious part. What is he trying to do? He wants to run away. Run away where? He says, I'll go to a forest. Okay. So Arjuna is telling, I'll run to a forest, and Arjuna, Krishna is telling, boss, you do all this, you'll be a pretender. Because even if you go there, you may not be able to become a perfect sannyasi, because even if you become a sannyasi, what will happen? You're a Kshatriya basically. Right? So what will happen? Even if you see some adharma, it could be any adharma. You will see a hunter trying to kill a deer, or some akrama which is happening, somebody trying to abuse a woman. You can't be too quiet. You may not have your bow, but you will take even a leaf and fight, right? So there is one saying, right, for someone who's very strong, even a leaf can become his weapon. So he is now telling that you can do anything, even a leaf can become a weapon, right? So don't do this, is what he is actually trying to tell. And he's laughing, over Arjuna in his heart, though externally is. So now what he's doing is he's doing a comparison. He can't be directly, he's the guru, right? So he can't abuse Dumbo and all. Okay, in my case, it's different. Directly, my guru and teachers in school used to tell me Dumbo. Mine was an exception. But Krishna is telling, teachers should not tell that, right? So what is he telling now? He wants to give an example, right? He's telling that, okay, agree. So let me tell you about something called the Siddhadev Muni. Yesterday, someone was asking self-realized soul. What is it? So Krishna is explaining self-realized soul so that Arjuna will think, oh my gosh, this is self-realized soul. I'm no way close to this. I will not even talk about it, because does he really want to be a sannyasi? Is that Arjuna's idea? No, right? He wants to run away. It has happened so many times in my life. I'm sure it would have happened for few of y'all also. When there is a tough exam, or when there is a dose which I get from my dad or in the family, or when everybody is shouting, the first thing I will think is, take my bag and run away somewhere. Forget bag also, just feel like running away. Right? Have you ever felt that running away? I have felt. Have you guys felt? Yes, no? Exactly. So do we really want to do japa or think of God? No. That situation you want to run away. So can you relate Arjuna now? Arjuna also wants to run away only. It's not that he wants to go and think of God or anything, right? That moment, escapism. Actually, Arjuna is an escapist, though we don't want to say it, but that is what many times I've also felt many times. I thought since it's a public forum and it is being recorded, I will be very diplomatic. Remember, family tradition came in my mind. I will not use many times. I will tell occasionally. I'm just trying to meet the decorum of this video. But fact is, many times we feel that. So Arjuna, every time he's feeling that now also, run away only he's trying to do. So Arjuna will be thinking, oh my God, how many times? So he's now telling qualifications to run away. This is what is this particular thing claim. So what does he say? He says, okay, Partha, when a man gives up all the varieties of sense desire, right? So we all run away and go to a forest. Will we be without our Nike shoe, right? Or will we be without our watch? Very difficult. We don't need time. right? But we need watch. It's like me. I've never seen time. I don't know when I've seen, but I need my watch, because it's more like a fantasy form, right? Like that, Arjuna will also be thinking, I need this, that, and all that. And when the mind finds satisfaction in self alone, right? Here, self means not me, Krishna, okay, God, self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental conscience. So Krishna is telling the qualification of sannyasi. Krishna very beautifully puts things that, Arjuna will tell, oh my Krishna, leave me, tell me what I should do, I will do that, that is what he's telling. A classic example is one small little chotu fellow, he's sitting in the right. Who is this boy? I am now confident you all will not know. Who is this boy on the right in this picture? I am so happy that nobody knows for a change. I thought that I will be happy and people are stealing me of the happiness. Oh my God, so many of you all know. I was so confident none of you will know. Sanjeev, Shweta, bro, my God, Anupam. Yeah, absolutely, Ashwin. Oh my God, it's all, everybody seems to be knowing. I thought nobody will know. So let me also try and search some information which you all don't know. This is my challenge. Yes, this is Prahlad, little Kuti Prahlad, son of Hiranyakashipu. And who is this little boy? He is a boy born in the demon family, right? Best of demons, not just demon family, blood of demons. And he thinks Krishna is the supreme. He preys on Narsimha. So what happens is, though Hiranyakashipu loved his son, eventually when he came to know that this boy is talking about Vishnu as the highest, he gets so angry. But this Prahlad is so sweet, right? He's very respectful. He will tell his dad, oh my dear, best of devotees. He's not sarcastic. He gives so much of respect to his dad. And finally he tells Vishnu. Now many of you all were asking, right? I want to respond. He responds. He's a classic example. He will always respond. He says, I am the best. He says, yes, you're the best of demons. But the highest is Vishnu. Look at him. He gives respect. He will fall at his father's feet. He will do everything. But he never changes his stand. So for all those who had that doubt, what should I do? How will I manage? I can't be quiet. You don't have to be quiet, because Prahlad at the age of 5 was never quiet. What he did, he went on and he did take it up, right, with the father. He just didn't, what he didn't do is, he didn't tell, hey father, hey dad, keep quiet. Huh? That he didn't do. He put it across politely. But in spite of that, the father is Rakshasa, demon. He tried killing him in many ways, and not even once he was worried or scared, because he felt and thought really of Vishnu. That is what is his speciality. So irrespective of time, place, he was always thinking. So some pictures of some great devotees are what is said. Prabhupada is one such devotee where he is, irrespective of problems he faced, he is always there. 2.62, Hare Krishna. Dhyayato Vishnayan Pumshah Sangaste Supajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodo Abhijayate. Hare Krishna.
While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises.
This is for all those who said, I have problems with relationships, or you had problems in day-to-day. Observe what is happening. What happens is, there is an attachment. I'm not talking about love. We're talking about some attachment. It could be even to a thing, right? Attachment is there. And from that attachment, lust. Lust here refers to desire, greed. Right? So the lust develops, and what happens when the desire develops, when you don't achieve that, you get anger. So let me just take a small example on a medical, right? Someone is aiming at becoming a doctor, and they're very attached that they want to become a doctor. It is a good aim to be a doctor, no doubt, but you put your efforts. But what happens is, the desire is so much that if you do not get, you get so angry. You get so angry and disappointed, right? Let's see and how it dominates, how it continues. The circle doesn't end. 2.6. Krodad bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramsad buddhi naso, buddhi nasat pranashyati.
From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool.
Very high English, no? Prabhupada uses so much English that all of us need to check dictionary. So what happens? We are continuing that, right? So after that, what happens? Anger is coming. And from anger, delusion, you start getting confused, right? And all this confusion leads to a confusion in the mind, memory, right? And what happens with all this? Finally, what happens? You get bewildered and intelligence itself gets lost, right? We tell that our brain is not working. This is what is actually happening. And finally, when the intelligence is lost, you land up doing a lot of things. Always I tell, when the intelligence should be the dominating factor, not mind. If the intelligence is not the dominating factor, what happens is your mind dominates and you land up doing a lot of things. So also, why is all this coming is because Krishna introduced the concept of the Siddhartha Muni. Siddhartha Muni means someone who's perfect. And Arjuna immediately asked, okay, tell me about this Muni. You know, it's like persuading. He didn't tell because Arjuna will tell, I never asked you, it's out of syllabus, he will say. So he is making Arjuna tell that, you know, hey, tell me, you know, how does he walk? How does he sit? How does he do? He's making him ask questions and he's giving all this as answers. So now we will do what it is. So these object of senses now immediately sees, it develops attachment. Classic example is opposite gender. The moment we see, until then it may not even strike us, attachment comes. Automatically lust comes. Basically any desire. To be call it love also, it's fine. But what I'm telling you is you want to get it. You want to connect to it. If the person rejects you, you get angry, right? You're delusion, you're confused, and you're completely bewildered. You don't know what to do, and your intelligence is lost. So what happens is you may do anything. You may get angry, you may hurt yourself, you may hurt her. If you all are not doing both, then you all are great. But normally what happens? So what is happening to Krishna's solutions now, right? So what is the quality of Siddhartha Muni, and here he is telling what you should not do. Finally, what is happening? All that Arjuna didn't want, right? Compassion. He had a compassion not to fight. So Arjuna is being answered by Krishna that we are not the body, we are the soul. And we saw the qualities of soul. So Krishna's solutions are given in a snapshot. And no enjoyment, what he is telling, okay, you go to heaven or you will get the kingdom. So you're going to have a super bouncer, super winner, right? Next is fear of sinful activities, right? So he's addressing that in devotional service. We saw, right? Even accidental devotional service of the mouse. And in terms of, Hanuman, there is no sin involved, right? And destruction of a family. Oh my God, be a role model here. Don't be an example. People should not tell you should run away, right? And be a role model, and Varna Shankara means you will result in a wrong doing and wrong set of people, wrong population will come because of the family. If you're not a right example, right? That's what he's answering. Now, indecision. He's telling basically, why are you indecisive? Because you're confused. Serve the Lord with firm determination and there will be absolutely no confusion. Finally, he's just giving Gyan session, right? Siddhartha Muni. So how beautifully Krishna is addressing all the questions, right? Do you see how beautifully the entire chain is transformed? Lovely, right? So I have this, when I read this Bhagavad Gita, I always used to think that when I have 4 or 5 questions, generally I get one Khichdi answer, and the Khichdi answer never fits any question in my life. Now I want to ask, am I the only one getting Khichdi answers, or do I have someone here? Right? So yeah, thank you so much. No need private message, send in the group. I want everyone to know that I'm not alone. Thank you, Sanjeev. Yes. So what happens is, can you see very clearly? It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are your questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the answers. This is a learning for us. Every time you have a bad experience, one thing which we can learn is to be and not to be. If you see a good person, be the way that person is. If you see a bad person, not to be, and all the things I used to hate is something which I learned. One thing which I used to hate is having a Saturday school or any Saturday meeting. And permanently what I thought is, I will never have a meeting on Saturday, and I will never have, I can't control school because I'm not a school teacher or a principal, but anything I do, I will not have it on a Saturday. Now you don't come back to me and ask me whether Saturday and Sunday, do we have this 18-day course? Yes, we have. That I don't have control. So you have to come with me on Saturday, Sunday also. But I'll try and keep it more like this and entertaining. Yes. So with this, we will complete the entire Bhagavad Gita over chapter today. Now you will ask me, oh my God, then what is coming up in 18th chapter? So the point is, Arjuna may be as intelligent as all of us or more intelligent, but all of us can't understand anything when said once. So Krishna has to reiterate, and it led to complete 18 chapters for it to be completely convinced. So currently we have a knowledge from 2nd chapter that we are not the body, we are the soul. Is the knowledge sufficient? No, right? We studied physics, but what is metaphysics? Application, right? So we have to get into application. So we'll try and see if we are able to apply a little bit of whatever he told over our journey in the next few days to come, right? So with this, I end, or rather I will continue the session in bridge. And is there any doubts? You can type in the chat. Otherwise, I will stop now and we will see the bridge course. Is that fine? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we will move to the bridge, and just give me 1 second to load the bridge. Thank you so much. So let's start the bridge. So today, what are we going to see? Right. So we studied about I'm not the body. So yesterday, remember, Hare Krishna, do you remember yesterday? I told you all we are going to do about consciousness. One little mini video I gave, and I said we will continue our journey. So today we are talking about soul. So what is this soul? Right? Soul is a very general term. So do we understand what the soul is? I don't understand. So let's see how many of us do understand. And so this presentation, I hope, will be useful for us to understand what the soul is all about. So consciousness. So what is conscious? So if someone asks me define consciousness, it is so difficult because for me to pronounce consciousness itself was a challenge for many days. Right? So now let us see what this is, and I'm going to make you all overactive because you're going to talk to me. This is, you can even Google, this is Sophia the robot. This is a nice, beautiful, right? So amazing. So what are the similarities? Now the chat is open. She's Sophia and this is Good Morning Britain. So what are the similarities and what are the differences? What is it similar between her and us, and what are the differences? Come on, chat is open. She never smiles. Why she's not smiling? Things. She's Robert. She can't think of her own. Beautiful. She doesn't have emotions. Perfect. So let's see now. So what are the differences? So let's see. So what makes a difference? Feelings and emotions cannot be just chemicals, right? So if we are just chemicals, are we just a bundle of chemicals? If that is so, people say that we've just come by chance. Right? Is that so? Sometimes we are happy, right? Look at the expression from the childhood. Sometimes smiling. You can decide what these expressions are. Smiley will give better example. Right from childhood, can you see this expression? It is not an adult, even a smile. Don't you feel we are more than just chemicals? Right? Now coming to intuitive, right? My head, my hand, my leg, my body. So what is all this my? You don't say I head, I hand, I body. It means that I am different from my body. Intuitively we know. Have you ever told I hand? No. Because you know intuitively that my hand is different from my body and my soul. But we don't know it practically. So that's the difference. What is study of conscious, right? So in the early 20th century, a scientist analyzed the constituents of human body. This one, I gave you a snapshot, so I'm just taking it fast. So basically, the total worth of all these chemicals, right? So these are the chemicals. The total worth of all these chemicals are 210 rupees. So if it is 210 rupees, why are we worried? We, in continuation with what we worried, we should be happy. It talks about, the soul, right? So what is life? What is consciousness? What is the color? What is the taste? What is everything, right? So let's get into this. As I said, science has 125 questions unanswered. Of the 125 question, what is life is a question which is unanswered. It is there in this magazine. This is what it says. We can admittedly find nothing in physics or chemistry that has even a remote bearing on conscious, right? Yet all of us know that there is such a thing as consciousness simply because we have it ourselves. Hence, consciousness must be a part of nature or more generally of reality, which means that quite apart from the law of physics and chemistry as laid down in quantum theory, we must also consider law of quite a different nature, Neil Bohr. So he clearly says there is something beyond what they mentioned. So what does Roger say? The centermost process of the brain with which consciousness is presumably associated are simply not understood. We are so far beyond our comprehension that no one I know of has been able to imagine their nature. So everything they talk about consciousness, it is a brain processing thing, phenomenal conscious, everything they are talking. What does Herbert Fay tell? Scientific, psychological, having first lost its soul, later its consciousness, seems finally to lose its mind altogether. Right? So he's saying all this. So basically all he is telling is exclusively to biochemical brain function. So you can't put chemistry here, right? So what is the next thing? In my research for the secret of life, I ended up with atoms and electrons, which have no life at all. Somewhere along the line, life has run out through my fingers, right? Because he's become old. So he's telling life has run out. So in my old age, I am now retracting my steps. So beautiful. So Eugene, there are two kinds of reality or existence. The existence of my consciousness and the reality or existence of everything else. So beautiful, right? Consciousness is a principle that fundamentally transcends not only physics and chemistry, but also mechanistic principles of living beings. Michelle. Although a biologist, I must confess that I do not understand how life came up. To me, auto-replication of macromolecule does not yet represent life. Even a viral particle is not a live organism. It can only participate in the life process. RNA alone is not life. I think that life could be beyond the assembly of biomolecules. Right? It seems to be pretty plain that there is a third thing in the universe, know it, consciousness, which I cannot see to be the matter or force or any conceivable modification. So this is a huge, PSI Con aspect of consciousness 2019, which happened in the conference where they were discussing. So we say when a man dies, what do we say? He says he has passed away. Body is there. So what is past? Body is there, right? The body does not get up and run away. So what passes away? Who has passed? Now he is dreaming, right? When he is dreaming, what is happening? So many memories he gets. Now let's move to Stephen Carlson, Professor of Psychology and University of Virginia. So he has extensively investigated over 2,000 cases of spontaneous reincarnation memories. So what is all this about, right? So let's see this short video clip. Today, little long, we'll close in another 10 minutes. So beautiful, right? So what they are telling is all these birthmarks are nothing but impact. And they've done this research where this particular boy, actually in his previous birth, of course, he remembered the birth, so they were trying to track. So he was very long and therefore they tied his leg and they put him in a gunny bag and they threw him in the water to die. So this happened. And when he was born, this was a very strange impression. Can you see his leg? Very unusual formation of his leg, typically how it is, tied. So the past life memories are of four, there are four types of evidence. How do they do? Their recollections from what they say, their recognitions, what they see and how they tell, their behaviors, and sometimes birthmarks are also evident. This is by a very famous professor called Stevenson, who has, read 20 cases on all this, and he has a huge research team to support. So what is it we are trying to tell? Even though we are trying to many means to enjoy life, don't we feel something is missing? I'm sure you all will agree, because we have many of us have a great house. If we don't have, we feel we should have one. We have a car. In spite of so much of advancement, don't we have dissatisfaction, anxiety, stress, depression, and we are unhappy? Yes or no? Oh, thank you so much. So many nice souls. Okay. So are we not? Okay, yeah, yes. Thanks for being very honest. Because I've always felt there are a lot of things which we have, but there is some missing element, deep within, there is an anxiety, there is stress, there is depression of everything. We relate to something which we don't get. We tell, I'm depressed because I didn't get this. My relationship broke, therefore we are depressed. But assuming everything is perfect and beautiful, still we are depressed, right? So why? See, this is how the body keeps changing at various levels and various transformation happens. So what is the confirmation by the authorities, whom we call them as acharyas? He is Vyasa, and he is a reincarnation of Krishna, who wrote Mahabharata as well as he wrote the Bhagavad Gita. He gave Divya Drishti to Sanjaya, and he was also one who witnessed the Virat Rupa. So the Vishwa Rupa, which is going to come later, was seen by Arjuna and indirectly through by Sanjaya through his eyes and through Vyasa. Madhavacharya. Madhavacharya is somebody whom we are following. So in this line, right, Madhavacharya is someone. And why is Anjaneya photo behind? Because Madhavacharya is an incarnation of Hanuman. That is why his body is also very nice. Ramanujacharya, I'm sure everybody knows. So we said 4 paramparas taken care. In Madhavacharya parampara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years back. And he is an incarnation of Krishna, but absolutely Radha Rani's features on him. Shankaracharya, we all know Shankaracharya, is one of the biggest acharyas, and he is also confirmed. What is it they've all confirmed? They've all confirmed on what we said. So let's see what is Krishna trying to tell. Najayate mriyate va kadachin naya bhutva bhavita vana bhuye ajo nitya chashvato aham purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Means that the soul cannot be killed or slain. For the soul, this is what it says, there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, underlying and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Slain means cannot be killed or cannot kill, right? So that's what it means, slain. Is your brain really necessary? Now, this is a very conflicting question. Every one of us will tell yes. So there is a research report of a person where there is absolutely no gray matter. He's surviving and he is there. He's not retarded or anything. So this research tells that, do we really need the brain? So you can actually Google, this is in Rutgers University. And here nobody has the slightest idea how anything material could be conscious. So do you need a brain? So do animals have life? Do they have memory? Animals have, plants have memory, right? There is this particular tree which it is proved that they have a memory of being eaten, and in terms of risk, they actually give out a lot of poison gas, which actually is injurious to, it acts as a lethal, it's like a poison for a lot of animals. So you will see suddenly in one particular place, a lot of deers and other things are dying. This is an example. What happened is there were multiple deers we were dying, and what they realized is it happened because this particular tree, it was being eaten by them, and the tree as a natural defense started giving out these things. So now what is NDE is a near-death experience. So this is another story of this lady who actually had a near-death experience. And what does it say is she had to go through a particular surgery where literally they had to make her brain dead. And after she was brain dead, literally dead, right, in that sense. And after that, she could witness the exact chain of events which happened. Near-death experience is very commonly used by us. I almost died. That is not near-death experience. Near-death experience is something where you are certified dead, medically. And this is, her name is Pam Reynolds. You can Google this also. Very clearly, she is able to tell every single incident which happened throughout the surgery, because virtually it is believed that the conscious is moved and witnessed the whole thing. So this is what it is, very clear. I'll just give a quick write-up. Dr. Michael Sabom is a cardiologist whose latest book, Light and Death, includes a detailed medical and scientific analysis of an amazing near-death experience of a woman named Pam Reynolds. She underwent a rare operation to remove a giant basilar artery aneurysm in her brain that threatened her life. The size and location of this aneurysm, however, precluded its safe removal using the standard neurosurgical techniques. She was referred to a doctor who had a daring surgical procedure known as hypothermic cardiac arrest. It allowed Pam's aneurysm to be excised with a reasonable chance of success. This operation, nicknamed standstill by the doctors who perform it, required Pam's body temperature to be lowered to 60 degrees, her heartbeat and breathing stopped, her brain waves flattened, and the blood drained from her head. In everyday terms, she was put to death. After removing the aneurysm, she was restored to life. During the time Pam was standstill, she experienced a near-to-death experience. A remarkably detailed, veridical out-of-body observation during her surgery were later verified to be accurate. This case is considered to be one of the strongest case of veridical evidence in NDE research because of her ability to describe the unique surgical equipments, instruments, and procedures used, and her ability to describe in detail these events while she was clinically and brain dead. So this was superb. When all of Palm's vital signs were stopped, the doctor turned on the surgical saw and began to cut through Palm's skull. While this was going on, Palm reported that she felt herself pop outside her body and hover above the operation table. Then she watched the doctors working on the lifeless body for a while. From her out-of-body position, she observed the doctors sewing her skull, which she looked like an electric toothbrush. That was a unique weapon used for stitching. Palm heard and reported later with the nurses in the operating room, which exactly matched. And the monitor attached to Palm's body registered no life whatsoever. So Palm compared the feeling of re-entering her body to plug into a pool of ice. So can you see all this? We used to tell, no, her imagination, she had a dream, all of it. But doctors are not fools, and scientists neither are they. So life after life is sort of proved. Hypnotic regression. Hypnosis, currently you know this more than me. You know any psychology student, so they know very clearly how hypnosis works. Premonition is a science wherein you know something in advance, right? Premonition we also get, we call it a gut feeling, right? Something is going to happen, you can feel that. So that is what is called premonition. Phobia is nothing but fear. Sometimes we are so scared of heights, water. Why are we phobic? Because we have had a experience in the past which could have created and instigated this. That is why naturally you will see someone who is scared of something. For example, I have fear of heights. I can't do anything in air. So if you want me to do a anything in the air, paragliding, anything jumping, I will have a heart attack in the process. So, but whereas in water, I will have no fear. Vice versa for someone. All this is because of our previous, generation. What is child prodigy? Okay. It's a quick few minutes.
You know what, Evan?
How can there be death in everything is a part of Godhead? The soul never dies and the body never really is alive. So this is from Isaac. So all of this, right? I know I'm deathless. No doubt I have died myself 10,000 times before. I laugh at what you call dissolution, and I know the amplitude of time. So basically, these are all famous quotes. I did not begin with when I was born, nor when I was conceived. I have been growing, developing throughout incalculable myriads of millenniums. All my previous selves have their voices echoes prompting in me. Oh, incalculable times, again shall I be born. I took upon death to be as necessary to the constitution as sleep. We shall rise refreshed in the morning, Benjamin. So, which body we get next? What is reincarnation? All these, right, are food for soul. Someone asked, what are the priorities? What should we do? So basically what we do is, it's like the parrot is a soul. And we very beautifully take care of the cage, right? Golden cage. And if we don't feed the parrot, will it survive? That's exactly what we've been doing. All of us were telling that we were remote, we were not satisfied because of the fact that we are so well taking care of the cage, which is the body. But are we giving food for the soul? And that is so important. See, everything needs fuel, right? Car needs fuel, everything needs fuel. But the same with soul, right? Soul also should need something. What is it the soul needs? That is something which we have to find. There is a process to first realize soul, right? What is the process? So this is what he's telling, right? We just said, as a person puts on new garments, giving up old, the soul similarly accepts new bodies. What is it based on? On what basis does it do? The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor burnt by fire, nor moistened by water, or withered by wind. This individual soul is unbreakable, insoluble, neither burnt or dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchanged, immovable, and eternally the same. These are the qualities of soul, which are all in the second chapter. I request you all to read that. Right? Some look at the soul as amazing, and some describe amazing. So it's all the qualities of the soul and how people perceive soul. Right? So the last part of this is, what is he saying? Ya vapishmaran bhava jayate ante kalevaram tatam aveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitha Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body in his next life, he will attain this. This will come in chapter 8 and we will understand more of that. And what we need to understand right now is just about what Krishna is talking about, soul. Is Krishna and Vedas, are they the only one talking? We already said, seeing is not believing, right? So let's not see and believe. Fine. So acharyas, okay, we don't believe in acharya. We are modern world, right? So what is it we should believe? Can we believe the scientists? Because even science is faith, right? So do we believe the scientists? Yes or no? You have to believe someone, na? There is a statement. None of us know our father until the mother says, right? So mother has to tell this is our father. Only by that we believe. Same way, there is something we have to believe. We can't do research over everything. Agree? So that's what all this evolves, right? And with this, I will end this session. Hare Krishna. And I'll pause the session. You all have any other questions? You all can put it on chat. Hare Krishna. Do you all have any questions? Sorry, this session was a little long because second chapter is very long. So now the floor is open for questions. We'll take for 10 minutes questions. So any questions? Are there any questions for the day? If there are no questions, we can end the session. If you all have any questions, you can raise your hand or put it in the chat. Difference between atheist and agnostic. Actually, it is not too work to analyze these two. But actually, what is an atheist is someone who does not believe in the existence of God. Agnostic are those who are confused. They don't know whether they exist or not. So they are not clear. Atheists are clear on that it is not there. Agnostic is, they are like, little, maybe it is there, maybe it is not. They are like cat in the wall. But these have become fancy terms. Why Krishna chose Arjuna to give Bhagavad Gita? Okay. Hare Krishna. So the first question, why Krishna chose Arjuna to give knowledge of Bhagavad Gita? Because Arjuna is his friend as well as devotee. It will come. He's a devotee and a friend. It is very clearly come that why he chose him. Right. So basically answering your question, Soham, you please unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah. So now you want to share some biggest secret to someone. Whom will you want to share that secret? Will you share the secret to your teacher, to your neighbor, to your father, or to a stranger in the road? Whom would you share? Wait, let me just give you the facility to unmute. Sorry, yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, Mataji, to a friend.
Yes. Yes, Swam.
To a friend.
To a friend. Why to a friend? Why can't you tell to an enemy or your neighbor? Stranger.
I can't have believe in him. A stranger.
Exactly. So you answered your own question. Same way, the rule applies to all, right? It applies to me also. No? I can also tell to my friend. I don't have to tell your friend my secret. Agree?
Yes.
Yeah. That is the story. Basically, Krishna chose Arjuna because he is his friend and his devotee. Same way, Krishna is also a person, right? He may be a supreme person, but he is still a person. He will want to share something confidential to the person whom he thinks is the best. The way you and me think that we will share only to our friend. Same way, he's also sharing to his friend. Justified?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is his choice is specifically more than this, a reason and a story which I will tell you all, when the time permits. Since we are running out of time, I will leave it here for, now. But this is actual reason. So he's a friend and a devotee. That's the main reason. And he's through Arjuna addressing us only. Question from Meha, Hare Krishna. Weren't we supposed to know Jnana Yoga? Megha, we will understand what is Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is knowledge. Now the second chapter talks about consciousness, right? So today what we learned is nothing but Jnana only. I am not the body, I am the soul, Sankhya. So aren't we automatically learning Jnana? We are getting knowledge, right? What is Jnana? Jnana means knowledge. So Megha, you can unmute yourself if I've answered the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we are learning Jnana. So Bhakti comprises of a lot of yogas, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. So Karma Yoga is what Arjuna was taught today, right? It is your duty. That is karma. Karma not only means fate, it also means duty. So karma yoga means doing the duty as prescribed in the books. As prescribed in the book, a judge, okay, a father has to take care of his child, correct? Now, if a child is a murderer and the father is a judge, will he take care as a son? Like, will he take the role of a father or a judge? What should he do?
A judge.
So you know very well, the two rules are there and one overrules another. Same way here, when we are talking about Bhakti Yoga, these two are built in it, right? So Bhakti Yoga means you'll automatically have knowledge, which is Jnana, and Karma Yoga. So we do our duty, which are prescribed, like how Arjuna is supposed to do, which is what we learned here in Karma Yoga. And also we parallelly learn Jnana. I am not the body, I am the soul, right? That is Jnana. So these two are inbuilt in that. And we will be learning what are all built into this Bhakti Yoga. And what are these, right? Hare Krishna. And have I answered?
Yes, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So devotee Sanjeev, as we talk about reincarnation, but if we look at the population of the world was less and now it is billion. So is there any factory which produces souls? Very beautiful question. Reincarnation, you are talking about population. Sanjeev, can you unmute yourself? Hare,
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
good morning. Hare Krishna. How
Hare
many
Krishna.
are there in your house, Sanjeev?
Yes, ma'am.
How many lives are there in your house living now?
11.
11 lives are there in your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Who are they?
My grandparents,
Okay.
my mother, father,
Okay.
my sister, and also we
Yes.
have festival. That's why our relatives has joined us.
Okay. So only 11 are there. Nobody else is there. You're sure? 100%.
Yes. Also we have lizards, spider.
See? So have you included them in 11 or you haven't included?
No. Yes, I have included them.
So you have included. So that means all lizards, all cockroaches, all mosquitoes, all viral, everybody put together in your house is 11.
No, it's not 11.
not
It's
included.
more than 11.
Yeah, sure, right?
Yes.
Yes. Including viral, what you don't see. So therefore, reincarnation is not specific to human. There are 84 lakh variety of species. So there is no guarantee that a cat in your house can become a human or the human here can be a cat next life or previous life. So reincarnation, for the sake of understanding, only we have put humans for example. So whatever population we are talking about need not be the number of people living here. One more thing I'll tell you, Mahabharatam war lasted for 18 days. Number of people died in that 18 days of Mahabharat war is almost same as the number died in COVID in the world. So can you see the amount, the rate of death was much higher. So why am I explaining this to you in one line is population, we refer only to human. We do not consider anything other than human as lives. And I'm sure you also spoke from that point of view. Am I right, Sanjay?
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
So there is no production unit, but there is a reincarnation unit, which means that Krishna promotes, you get promotion, you get demotion. Same way somebody fails is an 8th standard. So someone fails, we may become an animal. And if we get promoted from an animal, we become a human. Have I answered your question? Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am. You have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So what is conscious, right? The presence of the soul, the life which is in it is what is conscious. So as long as you talk, you breathe, that is conscious for a simple one-liner. The conscious is nothing but the presence of the soul. That is also very complicated though, because it's not a simple science to be explained in one line. Another question, Menaka Singh, how can we differentiate between anxious thought that emerge from overthinking and intuitions? Menaka, the anxious thoughts and intuitions are very different because anxious thoughts will have a track record. Your anxiety will have a story, right? You will have a dream as if you are failing the exam or the teacher has come. Many times I keep writing exams still, you know, that's because of our anxiety which is in. But intuitions may not be in line with that. It can come rationally different. When you're having, you may think suddenly something is happening to somebody else, you know, which may be a story which is not a present life situation. It will just peep in from somewhere, from nowhere. So maybe if you Google, you'll have more insight on what intuitions are. Intuitions are a fragment which comes from nowhere, in fact, mostly. It need not have a relation. Anxiety is clearly our own. Our fear develops into anxiety. I told, no, today we read that circle. Kama, Esha, Kama, Krodha. So from Kama, lust develops, from lust, desire develops, and it goes on and on. From basically lust, attachment it starts off right from senses, right? Senses cease, you get attached. From the attachment, what happens? Lust or desire develops. From lust or desire, what happens? You start the circle, right? You will get, delusion. From delusion, you get bewilderment. Bewilderment, mind goes off, then internet goes, and you fall down. That is how the circle is, and that is the reason for anxiety. I hope I have answered this question, Menika.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. Thank you.
Vasudev Sahu. The number of souls are fixed in the world. Just the body changes time to time. Number of souls, I told you, 84 lakh. It will come later in the session. There are 84 lakh species in the world. 84 lakh, of 84 lakh, 4 lakh are human species. Human means we think we are the only human. But we will understand in 8th chapter what are these 4 lakh human species are. Right? So there are so many human species, human varieties. So we will, wait. So you will get that as well. I asked yesterday about realized soul and I got my answer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tanya, for patiently waiting for a day. And I'm so glad you got your answer. And same way, likewise, many questions will get answered through your 18 days process. Hare Krishna. That is why chapter 2, technically Bhagavad Gita should end. But Krishna, continues and Arjuna continues. Hare Krishna. If there are no more questions, let's end the session. Yesterday we chanted 6 times. Today we will do 12. Can we end? Yeah. So please let's all chant 12 times and let's end the session. Yeah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All of you chant loud. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare.
Krishna. Please
Hare Krishna.
end the session. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.